I'm Taral Patel, and I want to show you my Fort Bend. The neighborhoods, the schools, the people that made me who I am today.
In the quiet corners of one's soul, the silent pain of facing racism, rhetoric, and xenophobia echoes profoundly. It burdens that transcends the visible wounds, manifesting in the quiet resilience of those who endured it. Taral Patel, who's running for the Fort Bend County Commissioner for Precinct 3, has been constantly receiving racist and xenophobic messages on social media. Patel shared a photo in a news release of some of the messages he received online. Users wrote that he is a foreigner and is trying to take away people's freedom. They question if he was even born in America. In a xenophobic attempt, Patel was discriminated against on the basis of his religion. Patel previously served in Fort Bend County, grew up in the county, went to local schools, and is a proud American. His campaign is focused on hard work and respect for all communities.
From India, and I grew up in the small businesses they worked in to pay the bills. They were part of the wave that made Fort Bend the most diverse county in America.
To talk about racism and xenophobia within the communities, within the people, and all the communities who live within one county, and that is Fort Bend County. We have got Taral with us. He has just been recently facing all the xenophobic comments. Thank you, Taral, for joining me once again, because when I read the news about you facing all kind of racism, and I read all those statements, it kind of broke my heart. How do you feel?
Definitely, I agree with you. We are heartbroken that this is a reality, but I think this is also an opportunity for us to learn and come together. Because many times, this is now out in the open. You might hear these things behind the scenes, but you have people publicly sending this kind of stuff, whether it's emails, text messages, on our website, social media, and it is an opportunity for us to say we're Fort Bend County, we're diverse, but we're also united because we're inclusive.
My question would be, Taral, you grew up here, you're born here, your family is here. I know the parents are immigrant, but I'm sure they must have faced a lot more. But as a child, as a kid, when I'm taking you back down the memory lane, when you were small in school, how many times did you face racism over here?
You know, growing up here has always been tough. I didn't always speak English, right? We spoke different languages at home, Hindi, Gujarati, other things. And sometimes as a kid, you intermingle the two when you go to elementary school and whatnot. And that now as a learning lesson, right? Like looking back, it's like, yeah, I did face some unnecessary obstacles because you're just learning languages at that point.
Yeah.
So, that was one thing that was always there just from identity. And then we all know the horrible tragedy of 9/11 happened, which in of itself is a horrible incident, right, in our country's history and what happened, but also some of the negative feedback that happened afterwards.
We're still facing.
We're still facing, and kids are still facing, kids that grew up in that environment like I did. We got a lot of, we're the butt of jokes for many things, many times in classrooms.
I would like you to tell me.
Hey, how's your uncle doing? Referring to like Osama bin Laden, things of that nature. And these were commonplace, right? These were standard conversations. This should not shock anybody. And
no, my son was told in a high school, you can leave your bag in the middle of the hallway and just say Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar in my language means God is great.
That's right.
But that's not something which we think is funny.
Yeah.
But he was told that.
Yeah.
Until today, I feel like there are so many situations I have to tell them, just be careful because we are Muslims. We have to kind of cringe down. We just have to look down.
No, I've been told by my parents many times, and I never listen, I guess, but like, hey, get rid of your beard, right? Because you may be profiled or targeted.
As
Muslim or as a minority, or at that time, right, it was more animosity. We had a Muslim ban that was proposed by the former president and whatnot, and you were immigrant, you were targeted. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Hindu, atheist, Christian, right? Because from South Asia, we have every religion you can imagine, Buddhist, but if you have certain skin color and you have a not even funny sounding voice, right, but maybe a slight accent, or you speak a different language, if you're on the phone with your parents or grandma or whoever, you may get some weird glances and whatnot. Of
Yeah,
hey,
they tell you, oh, you just came. Are you fresh off the boat? That's what they tell us.
I'm sure when you were taking flights, right, after 9/11 or so.
Oh, yes.
All told, don't speak in your native language.
All the time. Till today. All the time.
Right. Don't speak Urdu. Don't speak
I'm
Hindi.
apologetic. We have to prove our identity.
Yeah.
We have to prove our patriotism as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I think there's always struggles that we face. And as a community, we have faced a lot of struggles. Immigrant community, Muslim community, South Asian community, and all different communities, right? But hopefully the lesson we can learn out of some of this is to expose it, telling people we don't live in a magic bubble.
Yeah.
These problems exist, and we need to be aware about them. Otherwise, we can't solve them. And the other good thing I will say is we have a lot of allies. We have folks, you know, when I face some of these things, the first people that reached out to me were a lot of Anglo-Americans, Hispanic Americans, African-American, of course, a lot of, you know, South Asian and Desi community as well. But everybody came together and said, hey, this is unacceptable. One person that reached out was one of the old school descendants of the original 300 that I know. I used to work with, you know, this family, and they said, hey, this is not representative of our community. I'm so sorry you're having to face this.
I mean, as a child, okay, as immigrant parents, we understand the repercussions, what can happen. We live with the fear. I said it in so many of my shows. We have to look over our shoulder all the time because that's what we are probably.
Yeah.
You were born here. You have no idea what the other life is like. You're a son of soil over here.
Yeah.
But you're still being targeted. That doesn't make you feel super uncomfortable.
No,
because
it
you
does.
have no idea what the feeling is.
Yeah.
But you are forced to feel it.
I was even told, go back to Mexico. And yeah, I've been to Mexico once or twice as on vacation and things of that nature. But I was born here. I went to elementary school here, middle school here, did my undergraduate here, law degree, Fort Bend, Texas, US.
Served with the county for so long.
And
you're basically a county kid.
Exactly. And look, especially when we did like first response work and working hand in hand to save people's lives, we never asked anybody that, hey, are you Republican? Are you Democrat? Are you brown? Are you white? Or are you Christian? Or are you Muslim? Or are you Hindu? That's never a question. We're there to help people. And then when you face that kind of comments from people saying, hey, go back to the forest or go back to Mexico, those kinds of things, it's a little eye-opening because, we want to be contributing members and we are contributing members, but it does make you take a step back with a little bit of shock that in the 21st century, this exists. And it exists in scale. Like people are vocal. We have social media now, so people are very willing to put this kind of stuff out.
Because they are basically right behind a screen. Nobody knows. It's a cyber hole.
Yeah.
They can write whatever they feel like it. It's the inner feeling brimming out.
That's right.
As poisonous as it can get. It's so much easier because if we are sitting face to face, we probably cannot say those things.
That's right.
But it's so much easier to be a keyboard warrior and you can just sit behind and just write what you feel like it. But that's the original feeling. That's
right.
the scary
raw
part.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why conversations like this are important because many people think that, hey, all this stuff is over. Barack Obama got elected as president.
Yeah.
Racism
He
is
was
over.
always, he had to face the fact that he was Barack Hussein.
Obama. Yeah, that's right. Both African-American, Muslim name, right? So add more struggle to struggle. But I'll tell you, many folks believe that after he got elected, racism in America kind of ended. And we know that's not the case, right? But that has been a mentality of like, oh, we had affirmative action, it's done now. Or, slavery has ended, so there's no more racism. There are lingering impacts of all of this stuff, whether it's colonialism, it's slavery, those repercussions are very real. And they're part of our genetic identity many times based on color of our skin, the faith that we practice or whatnot. So it's a responsibility for all of us and our entire Fort Bend community to say that, hey, this is unacceptable. In this day and age, there's no room for hate. But it has been a part of our history and we have to address it.
It has been a really big part of history. That's why we know there are so many campaigns working on it, so many communities working towards it. Black Lives Matter is there. And I mean, that's all unforgettable.
Right.
But my question would be how does all this situation put you in Fort Bend County? Being Fort Bend County, so blue, so purple, you can say. I have nothing against any party over here because I have to, as a journalist, I have to be apolitical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because parties doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the person.
Right.
It's the candidate.
Helping people and issues. Yeah, look, Fort Bend County has been moving, I think, in this progressive direction for a while. Since 2016, really, 2018, and then 2020 and 2022, all of that has been pretty verified. But I believe there is probably a small segment of the community that's not okay with that. And I tell people, you have a disagreement with me reducing taxes, fixing potholes, or any of our issues.
That's something.
That's fair game.
That's fair.
Let's talk about it.
You bring it out and you can talk about it, and that can.
Say my broadband initiative sucks because it doesn't touch this part of the community. Let's talk about that. And I want that feedback so that we can make better platform and ideas and issues. But when you attack us for faith or color or other things, come on, that's a personal attack that has nothing to do with anything. And I say, folks, if you don't respect me, at least respect the office and what we are trying to do to help our community overall.
They made fun of your religion. They made fun of your gods. And they made fun of your family, probably.
Yeah.
They made fun of your beginning, your entire being.
Yeah.
That is something just because Taral Patel is running for Commissioner Precinct position. That's why? That's your only original sin?
Unfortunately, it is to some people. And I tell folks, I can't change who I am. And I'm okay with that. I'm very confident in who I am, my faith, my family, being a Fort Bend lifelong resident.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
That's what we are.
That's right. And those are strengths the way I see it. That informs how I live the world, how we develop good public policy, how we bring people together. But when you strip it all away, right, if that's somebody's attack, we know it's baseless.
Completely.
There's nothing else.
I mean, it has nothing to do with anybody's. My next question would be, can you tell me what is the color of an American then?
I think the color of the American is the color of a rainbow. We have people from every walk of life, every culture, and not even America. Let's just say Fort Bend County. That what I've been experiencing on the campaign trail of meeting different people, I'm learning about cultures within cultures, faiths within faiths, communities within communities. It's amazing. And
it's so colorful. It's pretty. It's so beautiful.
People are celebrating their festivals, and I see colors I've never seen before. You know, it can only happen in this unique place. So we need to keep that uniqueness and people living in harmony and get rid of these things that
Tell me
are
how
evil.
your parents are feeling after that.
They are.
Because I know how it hurts, where it hurts, why it is so scary to be a minority over here. I know it's sometimes for example, in my case, I would say I'm a woman, a minority, I'm a Muslim, a minority, and a South Asian, a minority. So I'm all the MMs with me. Yeah. So probably it's the same case with
M
you.
cubed, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it affects me personally, right? I'm a human being at the end of the day. But then I try to brush it off, say, hey, this is a small group of people. There's a lot more love. But parents see it as, hey, my son is being attacked randomly, right? So they've been concerned for my safety and well-being. And I often have to reassure them that, hey, this is okay. And that's part of the reason, Sofia, I wanted to expose this early on. I'm telling you, since we exposed it, it has only increased. And it will continue to increase as we get closer to next March and in November. But if we know this is happening, it is an understanding that the entire community has that we need to come together against this kind of thing. That's my whole reason of even putting it out there, right? Yeah. And, you know, logic and parents' love sometimes does not come together, right?
I understand.
So I have a lot of love, and they're very proud of their son, which I'm thankful for.
We're very proud of you as well. Let me just take a very short break. We're going to go on a very short break, and we are going to continue this conversation. Stay tuned.
The Made to Move sales event at Big Star Cadillac is all about the savings. Enjoy 1.9% APR financing on all 2023 and 2024 Cadillac CT4 and CT5 sedans, and all 2023 and 2024 XT4, XT5, and XT6 crossovers. Lower your payment with 1.9% APR limited term financing at Houston's Cadillac to your door dealer, Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop at Big Star. Shop BigStarCadillac.com.
Hey!
Okay. If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat. Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Welcome back. We are in conversation with Taral Patel, who's running for the Precinct Commissioner position. And the precinct is Precinct 3, Taral?
That's right. Part of Sugar Land, Stafford, Missouri City, one of the most diverse in Fort Bend County.
You have worked with County Judge KP George for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we know you as a county kid from there.
Yeah.
KP George had to face a lot of racism till today.
Yeah.
I have myself heard people telling him, you do not know how to speak English. He has been targeted for his color, for the language, for everything. Without knowing, none of them, these people know that what a capable person he can be and how fair he is, how just he is.
Yeah.
So did you witness all that as well?
It did. And you asked the question about how does, parents or, family, team folks feel about that. And when we started seeing it, it was during height of COVID.
Yeah.
And consider this, Fort Bend is #1 per capita vaccinated in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And even when you do everything in your power to make the biggest impact to save people's lives, he still got on endless amounts of racism. Like you said, it's online, social media, emails, phone calls, all sorts of stuff. But even in person, people came up, yelled at, screamed at him, go back to where you came from, things like that. And many times I was with him. And thankfully in those circumstances, we had some security that helped diffuse the situation or whatnot. But I don't know how people can go to sleep at night if that's the kind of mindset and mentality you have. And at the end of the day, look, we're here. KP George is here, you're here, I'm here, my parents are here, families are here. We are here to contribute and help people. That's our whole goal and vision and mission, along with County Judge KP George.
So our original sin is basically our color.
Our color, we're not originally from here. Things we cannot change about ourselves, right? These are interwoven into our identity. Whether you're immigrant, your different skin color, different type of hair, what we might wear on a day-to-day basis, right? These are identity factors for us that we should be proud about. We should be proud of our diversity. But for some folks in the community, they see it as immigrants coming to take jobs or other negative stereotypes.
Taking over
That's
the
right.
United States.
And that's not the case, right? We want to add value to the community. I'm blessed to be from Fort Bend County, right? I grew up here. The values I learned are from Fort Bend County. And I want to use those same values to help people in Fort Bend County. And we want to be known for that, helping, caring.
We're proud Texans.
That's right.
Because we belong here and this is our home.
Yeah.
And we do not have to be apologetic for our beginning, and we do not have to be apologetic for our color and probably for our religion as well. Because because I feel like at times we have to prove our patriotism.
Yeah. Well, look, let's go all the way back, right? Texas is actually called Tejas. That's the original name.
Tejas,
It's a Native American name, the Caddo tribe name. And Tejas means friend. So we got to get back to the basics and understand what are our roots. It is literally baked in the word friend. So we have to treat people like our friends and our family. And what I'm facing right now is the opposite of what I learned is Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
Southern hospitality is welcoming, it's open, it's inclusive. And we need to get back to y'all means all.
Yeah.
Right? We use the word y'all.
Yeah.
That means y'all means all.
That's so great, actually. I never thought of it like that. Y'all means all. That's lovely. Because, okay, facing the situation, looking at the fear of your parents, it must be bothering you deep inside. Do you get scared for your life?
So thankfully, I have faced this before, both as a student. When I was a student at University of Texas, we removed all the Confederate statues. And I got some pretty crazy threats that involve police and other things. So I have dealt with this, right, in my life. So I feel worse for my friends and family and well-wishers, right, that are deeply concerned. I'm very concerned. And it affects me on an emotional level, right? You're working hard, working 24/7, out in the 100-degree heat. Today we were at the Fort Bend County Fair and Parade.
Yeah.
And you're working. Many times I'll get home at midnight and wake up at 5 to go to a meeting, do help out with campaign, go to work after. All those things, right? So sometimes I think like, I'm doing this campaign. I don't get paid for doing a campaign, right? It's me saying I want to do this and help people.
Beg everybody for campaign money, and you have
Support.
to say because you're doing it for people.
That's right. So I'm trying to keep it positive, right? Of, hey, It's okay. There are people out there, but we want to show them love and respond with love. So hopefully we can change their minds that, hey, I'm not some crazy person they think I am or trying to take their jobs or whatnot, that I actually care about them. And I put this out on social media saying, the people that wished me ill because of my race or religion or whatnot, I want to do the best job for them, period. Because one, I care about them. And two, I'm not running to be a county commissioner who's South Asian or is young or any of that stuff. I'm running to be the best county commissioner that can take care of our residents. Doesn't matter where you come from or if you've been here for the last 5-6 generations.
That's just so noble. Okay, when Taral will be elected, what Taral is going to do about this racism and xenophobia?
I think we need to start grassroots and local. Our county is very diverse.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of diverse youth. I want to expand our internship programs, our summer jobs programs, and help put on cultural events. So people learn people become more intelligent when they get to learn about other cultures because it gives us a new perspective.
We have already been getting complaints like there are enough cultural events happening, which are cultural parties basically.
Yeah.
In Fort Bend County. I'm not going to mince my words over here. This is what the reality is.
And I don't mean cultural parties.
Dinners.
Yeah,
so
none of that.
What would be the approach to make it a lot more interactive?
Exactly.
A lot more. What would be the strategy there?
I want the youth to lead some of these efforts. I'm talking about things like oratory competitions, murals, essay competitions, Shark Tank with ideas of how we want to make Fort Bend County better, right? And what I have seen when I brought young people together from different backgrounds, they think very differently maybe than one another, but they're working on one project. So they get to input all their perspectives. And many young people are not worrying about, oh, you're from this place or that place.
Yeah.
They're just having fun. They get to meet other friends and work on some positive ideas. Yeah. So putting them a little bit in the forefront of the leadership process so they come up with these ideas. And look, as adults, we should be there to support them, right? Give them guidance of like, okay, you want to add recycling or you want to do a cultural play or something.
Yeah.
Let's connect you to this person at the school district who's in charge of recycling. Or I'll help you book a theater hall where you and your friends want to do some kind of play in your language or whatever it might be, right? So I think that's one very concrete, tangible thing we can do within the first 100 days is expand our internship program so that we have young people leading this effort. Because look, no offense to anyone, but like we also need new ideas and
definitely
break out some of these mentalities.
That was my next question, because this position has been with commissioners and the office holders for the longest time.
That's right.
They're senior. And to be really honest, the biggest problem right now in the U.S. government we are facing are like just way too many senior people. Yeah. We don't see the youth coming forward. How that can be helped?
So number one thing I have researched and I've looked into this is something called term limits. I fundamentally believe that we need to implement as a country, whether it's a local position, statewide position, or federal positions, put in term limits. I used to work for governor of Colorado. Yeah. And Colorado is a state that has term limits. Oh, okay. So it forces change and innovation through the process. New people are coming in constantly because, if you're a state representative, you've termed out after a couple of terms. Either you run for something else or you go back to private sector and help your community, your business, things of that nature. But you're always getting new perspectives, new ideas. You might get somebody who's more connected in the community. Because when you have folks in office 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
You just don't know. You don't know. You're not even well equipped with the technology.
You don't know about AI, childcare.
Yeah, the way situation is moving, the life is moving itself. We just saw in our lifetime how Facebook came in, then Instagram came in. Now we are dealing with AI.
That's right.
Now suddenly. And now it's the suddenly big thing. Google search engine developed right in front of me. Because honestly speaking, I'm from one of those times when it used to be a telephone call connection.
Wow.
And it used to move. I know I'm not ancient, but I'm just saying, this is what I saw. And now it's all chat GPT and it's brand new. Then Zoom came during COVID.
Zoom is huge now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Zoom came during COVID.
Well, even transit, I'll give you an example of something county commissioners do. I want more parking rides in Fort Bend because I think everybody would love to use them. But the biggest feedback I've been getting, and this maybe brings older and younger people together, is the culture is changing. People don't want to be sitting in traffic for hours. They rather park their car, go to a little coffee shop, plug in their phone, drink some coffee or bookstore or something, have the bus come, they jump on the bus, then they go to Greenway Plaza or Texas Medical Center, wherever they may be working, right?
But that's entire transportation system, because that we discussed as well in the previous show, because How would you fund that? Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of budgeting involved.
Yeah, so I mean, we would work with federal government, state government, grants, other opportunities to help get there. But I'm telling you, there's actually a petition right now by University of Houston Sugar Land students. UFH is a commuter school. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
But there's a limited feeder that only for School of Technology right now. So you have thousands of other students who live in the Fort Bend area. Many of them are immigrant community students,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That are having a very hard time getting all the way to downtown on a daily basis because they're not getting the help. So we can bring in partners like University of Houston and others to say that, hey, there's a need, there's a desire. How are we creative about the funding while we continue to reduce the tax rate in Fort Bend County?
I know that's another complete chapter
yeah.
because we discussed this as well, but
Financing.
it's just right now because I know you'll be basically taking care of the finances of the county. And right now we are just having this conversation about color and religion and how people are making fun of our situations. And we're talking about the original sin, and that's our color probably. I know this is not something I planned, but when I heard about that and I saw those messages and I've been following up and doing my own little research and it just blew me away.
I wish we had better topic to talk about, right? But that's why it's important to address. We need to let people know this is the reality of the 21st century and we need to do something about it.
It's just so much easier probably with all the technology that, like I said, they are keyboard warriors. They're just sitting somewhere in some cyberspace, and it's just so much easier to just hurl all these comments. What would be the parting message for this interview from Taral Patel?
My message is we are a community that is filled with love, positivity, and kindness. Those are the values I learned as a kid in Fort Bend County to the age I am now. That's the way I want to lead our community, with love, kindness, compassion, logic, science, and data, right, to get things done. But for those that maybe disagree because of skin color or race or other factors I cannot change about myself, nor would I be willing to change those about myself, is we also want to help you because we care about you. Many people lash out because they are hurt inside too, when all they resort to is anger and fear. So we need to show them something different. That, hey, we don't respond with anger and fear. We need to show them love and compassion so that they see something that they might have never seen before.
Thank you so much, Taral, for joining me today in my show. I would end with these lines. It's important to understand what candidates can do for you, how good they are for the community, for the people who live in those areas. Instead of worrying about their religion, their color, and the way they speak, and the way they move, or what their parents and their backgrounds are. Because United States is not one color. We are based on all the colors in the world. We are basically rainbow. We have so many colors, and that makes us all American. So please, your vote is very important. It is our duty, it's our national duty to use it very, very smartly instead of just giving it to somebody which we feel is on the lines of the party or on the lines of the person or their color. It's important to vote for people who can work for you to make it a better society, not only for us, for the coming generation as well.
In the face of such adversity, there lies a silent struggle, a battle against the shadows of bigotry, fought with dignity and courage. It's a journey marked by resilience where individuals navigate the tumultuous waters of discrimination, confronting the unseen pain with an unwavering spirit. Through the silent suffering emerges a strength that speaks volumes, a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure, rise above, and strive for a world where understanding eclipses prejudice.
Thank you for watching with me, Truth Be Told. I'm Sofia Jamal. Have a great weekend.